Hi guys, welcome to my channel Lush Gardener. I hope you guys are fine and are safe. So today I wanted to show you this Echeveria that is blooming at the same time. It's also putting out a lot of pups because, as I said, Echeverias are in their growing season. So it is putting out blooms, it's putting out a lot of pups, and you can see there is a lot of dry leaves. So I'm going to show you in this video how to take care of this plant. Of this succulent. Now the most important thing is, you can see the blooms are absolutely beautiful. They have this beautiful orange color, bell shape, but you can see those guys over here, couple of mealybugs. So I'm going to share how to take care of that. Now when you tend to see that mealybugs are present on your bloom stalks like this, I usually do not spray anything. As I've said this a couple of times, that I do not spray anything. All I do is just take some hand sanitizer, put it on the Q-tip, and then I just touch the mealybugs like this, and they kind of, you can see the color, they tend to melt off the coating of the mealybugs. Now this is little intensive, like you have to personally sit and clear them off, but I prefer this is much better than doing the spraying of anything on the succulents or on the succulent leaves or anything like that. So I usually tend to do this process, very little of it on the Q-tip, and then just clean it, and you can see the mealybugs are going to fall off just with that smell. And you can see the moment you're going to put the hand sanitizer, they from white they will change to yellow, because the white is their protective covering, and the moment that protective white covering tends to melt away, you can see this one is slowly starting to turn yellow. And the moment it turns yellow, that means it is the end of the mealybug, because their protective waxy coating has been dissolved by the help of the spirit that is present in the hand sanitizer, and then they will easily start to come off. You can see how they are struggling on the tip of the Q-tip, because they cannot bear the smell, and the sanitizer tends to burn their coating and it tends to irritate them a lot. So this is one way I tend to do it. Now usually it's better to check this out in the early stage, because if the infestation is too much, it can still be handled with the Q-tip, but it's always better to check on the initial stage, because that is going to work out much better compared to the later on stage, because once it starts to spread, it's going to be very difficult. And once they have turned yellow, the story is done. After this, they will automatically get dried up, because they no longer have that protective coating. So that is the most important part, and they will start to run away, as you can see. Now always remember, do not use too much of hand sanitizer, because it can be very strong to the succulent blooms as well as for the succulent leaves. So we do not want to touch onto the leaves, but we just want to touch the mealybugs, and we want to get them out. So very gently you have to do it. Now if you're going to use hand sanitizer on the crown area, it will be a very bad scene. So do not add sanitizer on the crown area, because remember, crown area is the most sensitive part of the succulent. It is the most important part of the succulent, and you have to be extremely careful. Now I have got rid of majority of the mealybugs. The remaining of them will get irritated and will start running out. And now I will clear this one as well. So I think this one does not have much, probably just one or two, because these succulents were very close to each other. So probably the ants might have passed them on to another succulent, because mealybugs by themselves cannot jump so far from one pot to another. They are usually given some support by the ants, and I have seen some ants visiting in my garden, so I'm sure that they were the ones that have done this. The succulent looks quite clean. I don't see any more of them. Now the next thing what we are going to do is, because you can see that they are getting very congested in this, the pups are finding it little difficult. Now this again is a very normal thing. The leaves will dry out as and when the pups start to come out. So what we have to do is just pull out those dry leaves, so that it can give a little bit more space for the pups to grow. So this is how I use these tweezers, and I pull out all of those dry leaves. But always remember, after you're done this, please do not water your succulents, because even though these are dry leaves, when you tend to pull them out with this, even this gentle force, it is going to leave cuts onto the succulent stem, and if water comes in contact, there is a chance that the succulent might get rotted. So you have to be extremely careful. So this is how I'm going to clean off, and you can see now there is enough space. So now you can see I have cleared almost all of the leaves from this side, and you can see now there is a good amount of space. Apart from that, it's going to also help the stem dry out, because there's going to be a good amount of air circulation right now. It was very congested earlier, but now it's going to be much more better for the stem, and there is going to be a good amount of air circulation. And I don't know if you'll be able to see, but you can see it over here. You can see how those tiny stems are coming out, which can be later on cut off once they reach a decent size. Now the succulent pups are very small, so I cannot cut them off, but you can see there is an evident stem. That is what we'll have to cut in order to separate the pups from the mother plant. But again, I have to wait for some time. They are probably less than 1 centimeter, or probably they are around 1 centimeter or less, so I cannot separate them right away. They have to at least reach probably 3 to 4 centimeters, and then I can separate them, because that's when they are going to be slightly more healthy and can accommodate little water in the leaves. At this point of time, the leaves are very small. They cannot store a lot of water in the leaves, and most probably if you're going to take it out, I would say 90% the pup will dry out even before putting out the roots. So always wait, don't be in a hurry. It's always better to wait rather than having a drying up pup. So what I'm going to do is, this is the same process what I'm going to do for the entire succulent, this succulent as well as this one. You can see the amount of pups. I think this is the largest one, but again I'm not going to separate because it's still very small. So I will also do the same thing. I will pull out all of those dry leaves with the help of this tweezer, and you can see extremely beautiful. I love the flowers. The flowers are looking extremely beautiful. The reason why this time I'm trying to keep the blooms is because I want to collect the seeds, and at least once I want to experiment with the seeds, whether the seeds will grow, because right now it is summers. The next season is going to be a monsoon. So during the monsoon season, the Echeverias are still in their growing period. It's only during the winters I have seen this tend to go a little slow on their growth. They do not go completely dormant in my city, in my environment. They don't go completely dormant, especially the Echeverias, because I've seen some Echeverias, they tend to bloom even during the winters, which usually tends to happen because my environment is very uncertain. At times, even during winters, it keeps raining, so I'm not very sure if it's something to do with the environment or climate. But yes, I have seen some of my Echeverias that tend to still put out bloom stock, even though it's supposed to be their dormancy period. I'm sure they are also confused just like us. At times the weather is so uncertain. Like last year we had rains until the month of December, which was supposed to be the winter season. So the succulents also tend to get slightly confused. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull out each leaf one by one, and I'm going to clear up a little bit of the soil from beneath the pups so that they can grow a little much better, so that there is a good amount of air circulation, because these dry leaves are going to choke up and make it much congested for them to grow. Apart from that, these dry leaves can be a nice housing space for a lot of mealybugs, so it's always better to get rid of those dry leaves. But as I said, do not water them right away after pulling out the dry leaves. Even though these leaves are dry, please do not pull them, please do not water after it, because the stem might have a cut which we are not aware, because we cannot see the stem at this point of time. It's completely covered with the pups. So in case if you're going to water, there is a chance that you might happen to have a rot or something like that. So be very, very careful. Do not water it right away. Just let it be as it is. So this is all done. I'm going to clear some more of it, and you can see how beautifully the Echeveria is growing. I'm really surprised that it's putting out pups, because this was the first of a kind Echeveria that I had purchased, and actually had purchased one, but I got two of them. So it's always better to have more than one. So you can see it looks absolutely beautiful. You can see the amount of pups. Now again guys, I have not used any fertilizers in this. It is just aquarium sand and garden soil, but you can see it's doing extremely well. I haven't added any fertilizers in this. I haven't even added pond water, because right now I do not have the pond that is fully functional. I only have water lilies in the pond and there is no fishes right now, so there's no point of using that water. But even then you can see they're doing extremely well. And this is the Echeveria noble. I had shared the video of this. It had orange blooms that time, but now they have turned into light pink in color. And you can also see the mother plant is also looking little haywire. Same thing goes with this one as well. The mother plant is looking slightly weak. Now the reason is because she is running out on energy. She has to put out a bloom. She has to support the pups. So there's a lot of pressure on the mother plant, but that's absolutely fine. As and when the pups are going to reach little bigger size, I'm going to separate them. Some of the flowers are starting to dry up, but majority of them are still open. So I have to wait for some time for them to dry up, and then probably I will collect the seeds. So guys, that's all about it. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe and keep propagating.